Good evening, everybody, and it's Friday, the 13th of November of 2020. And I just came here to give you guys a big hug and to let you know that, yes, I know that you've been wondering what we have been up to and what is happening. Oh, well, isn't that 11? There is a whole lot of change happening. And because here at 11:11 we are humans too, and life also gets struck. And November just happened with a beautiful hunter's moon and with All Saints Day on a All Hours Eve on a full moon with a blue moon, hunter moon, and also harvest moon. Full of power. And it was so bright and so intense. And some of us were actually not in our best moods. And things just started happening and happening. And all our intentions start manifesting here on this side. So I'm so looking forward also to hear from you and for you to share with us what's been happening. We haven't forgotten about you. None of you, not so ever. What happened? Everything happened. Everything is happening. And when we think and when we plan that tomorrow or even this week we're gonna go like this, X, Y, Z, the universe shows us that universe is in control. It is of change. And our 11th hour and the 11th minute of the 11th day of the 11th month in 2020, it was actually a time at 11:11 of huge happening and a huge implementation. And there was also a specific time where a big, strong will of family came through and came together. And as a human and as a mother, I was experiencing it fully and manifesting and reinforcing that is my absolute immense joy of life. That is my divine feminine on its fullest. That was 11:11 for me. And then the all happening throughout the day. There was beautiful moments, enlightening moments. There was lightning and thunderstorm and rain and love and conversation and friendship and enlightenment and also forgiveness, reconciliation, communication, understanding in several forms of relationships. It was an amazing day. And Friday 13. And in the morning at 10:01, I was in a video call, and all of a sudden I had this crazy experience of almost outer body, of leaving my body. And I'm speaking with this person and I'm saying that I don't know what is happening, but I feel weird. I feel like I'm leaving my body right now. And the other person on the other side of the call that was supposedly be receiving, a word from me and also some guidance was actually that, okay, so what must I do now? Kind of freak out. And why am I sharing these with you guys? It's not out of the blue. It's because all has been happening. And I also got a call what you've been up to, everything that's been happening. Share your experiences, hear and receive lessons. And the biggest lesson is when the master receives a teaching from his learner. And that happened to me today as well. And I am so grateful. So because of that, I have red wine to cheers to you. A big cheers to all of you on a Friday 13 from 11:11. That was a moment of celebration. And today I would like to speak also with you about what is today's day. Today is the day where the first woman, the first American woman, was consecrated as a saint. And that also comes with no coincidence. After all the happenings that have been occurring in the United States of America, the expectations of taking things for granted, of counting that people are numbers and they are counted as sheep, and the astonishment when, after all, people show and manifest that as persons they have a voice, they have a say, they have a will, and they are capable of action. So let me tell you a little bit about who was this woman. Saint Frances Cheviet was, Frances Xavier Cabrini. She was the first United States citizen to be canonized, and her deep trust in the loving care of her God gave her the strength to be a very valiant woman during to do the work of Christ. She refused admission to the religious order which had educated her, and she refused that in order to become a teacher. And she began charitable work in a house of providence, in an orphanage in Italy in the late 19th century. And she wrote her own vows. She handwritten her own vows, and she took a religious habit. And then, or since she wrote her vows, she then embraced the missionary sisters of the Sacred Heart. And at the orphanage where she was working, 7 young women from that orphanage followed her, joined her, and started that order. But in 35 years, Frances founded over 50 institutions dedicated to the caring of the poor. Frances, and as Saint Francis the Assisi, her vows were of poverty. And why, Inish? Why are you telling about Saint Francis Xavier? Because today is the World Day of the Poor. This is the day, the 13th of November is the feast day or celebration of the poor. And I would like to ask you today, where did your thoughts went through? Did your thoughts went through your own person? Did your thoughts went through the fact that, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to break a glass, or I'm going to go underneath the stairs, or a black cat is going to cross in front of me, or it's going to be, as always, bad luck, or by another chance, oh, Friday 13 is my lucky day, this is quite a charm, and it's Friday, so I'm going to play the lotto, and was it all material? Was your thoughts all about yourself, what you were going to lose or what you were going to gain? Were your thoughts in anything that you've done to what is a Friday 13? What is the 13th of November? Okay, so if you are interested in knowing more, let me tell you. Why do people that say that Friday 13 is so unlucky? Where does this huge superstition comes from? Okay, so let me first start saying that this year in 2020 we already had, this is the second Friday 13, and where this superstition actually comes from and how often do we survive this date is something that I would like you to start paying attention. And if you are there on the other side and you want to share something with us regarding Friday 13, come along. Just put it down here in the comments. Okay, I'll be able to read them through. Come on and participate with me. Let's make it fun because I was so delighted and missing to come and speak with you guys. So, going back to the Friday 13, each year, those who dread Friday 13 will have to endure at least one incidence of the unlucky date. But on some extra unlucky years, we can get to 3 months in which 13 falls on a Friday. For an example, back in 2015, the 13th of the month fell on a Friday. In February, in March, and in November. And this year, it only fell through in March and now in November again. And for Friday and 13 to come together, the beginning of the month must be a Sunday. This occurs 3 times a year, when a leap year begins on a Sunday or when a normal year begins on a Thursday. How curious is this? Have you ever, did you know, did you have any clue about this? Okay, you ask me, how do you know, Ines? Well, because remember, I am a leap year baby. So for myself, I consider always a Friday 13 as a day where something special in terms of life-changing happens. And it did, again. So let me share with you. In the morning, it did start a little bit ready, right? And then as I am kind of clearing up the air in a conversation, there is news of something that could change, like, changing in terms of home and etc. I had planned for today to go and see a new place. So you see, again, there's no coincidences. The universe did manifest that the current cycle is to be given thanks, but it's coming to an end, and embrace the new one. So, tell you now, where does this superstition comes from? There are various theories about why Friday 13 is considered to be an unlucky day. And many people like teachers and theorists and academics, they trace the root cause of the fear of the number 13 back to Christianity and relating it particularly to the 13 guests at the Last Supper. Okay, so in Christianity, the Last Supper feeds the fear. It feeds the fear because Jesus says that one of you will betray me tonight. The one that dips the bread, the flesh in the blood. This meaning dipping the bread in the wine. And that was Judas. And in all the photos of the Last Supper, you see there is one missing. So there's almost like two empty spaces together with Jesus. So the biblical references relates to the number of dinners or of diners, of people around Jesus Christ's last meal before his crucifixion. So the 12 apostles and Jesus. Judas Iscariot, the apostle who betrayed Jesus, is often referred to as the 13th diner. Because he was the 13th diner and the one that betrayed Jesus, then that is why the superstition became like, you do not need that 13 in your life. Now, women's spiritual empowerment, a woman's spiritual empowerment mentor, she once wrote an alternative theory that the fear of Friday the 13th, like most bits of the cultural superstition, is something we can't quite locate the reason for. Friday the 13th was considered to be unlucky by the Christian Church from the 10th century onward, not before that, because 13 was a number associated with the goddess, Christianity biggest threat. And some say that it was Judas Iscariot, the one that betrayed Jesus, or the 13 apostles, the only woman, Mary Magdalene. The number 13 was long considered the number of the godless because it was a number of goddess, or Mary Magdalene be considered as the church because she was the witness of Christ resurrected. So it all comes with the Friday 13 fear. And this fear of the number 13 is so ingrained in our culture that even has a clinical term for it, which is like a very fancy, like Trishkadela kind of something. It's a Greek word, but the Greek word for number 13 is actually a clinical term, like for a bad thing. But I don't remember quite. I'm sure that if you go to Saint Google, you can find a little bit more insight on that. Now I would like to see. Let me go quickly here to our channel and see if we have any comments. We have one comment. Hello, Vera. How are you? Hello, Cindy. Cheers. Hello, Ariane. Hope that you are all well. And yay, thank you so much for coming here. So please leave us here some comment about the Friday 13 and what do you know? What were you told when you were a child? What did you not go under a staircase, or would you like run away from a black cat, or would you not even leave the house or go to school because it was Friday 13? I remember it happened to me once that, it's Friday 13. I'm not going to school because I think that I'm going to get the bus and there's some accident is going to. I remember that memory so vivid. I think I was like grade 6 or something. So write here in your comment if you have, if you know, anything like that ever happened to you. It would be like really, really, really fun to know. And I'm going to speak a little bit more now about this fear, um, about the number 13, and um, why this superstition is, why do we consider it to be luck, and why, or like black cats, why do we fear them or avoid them? Or some of us actually think that black cats are actually a good omen. Well, yeah, I love black cats. I love cats. But for me, what strikes me more, it's if on a Friday 13 I drop salt. So that's a cultural thing. Like it said in the Portuguese culture, if you like drop salt, that's going to be a fight. Someone's going to fight. But if you're going to drop salt on a Friday 13, it's like really bad luck. And Portuguese are very superstitious. There's always a reason for everything. So before the next Friday 13, it will fall only next year in 2021 in August. So in August 13, 2021, it's going to be the next Friday 13. So fortunately, it's, yeah, for many of you, it's still far, 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 far away. And now August 13, and I was talking about, we are about to embrace a new home, and then next year, around from August to December, we will be preparing the second phase of our move. Oh wow, again, incidences. Well, so that fortunately marks the only time it will occur in 2021. Waiting until Friday 13 in May 2022 for the next one. So guys, I don't know what you're doing right there, but that tonight deserves a glass of wine, because the second Friday 13 this year, the next one will be in August next year, and then from there on, only in May 2022. So how can that be unlucky? No, for me, it just needs to be special. So why is Friday the 13th considered lucky? Well, considering Friday the 13th as unlucky days back hundreds of years, with the tradition said to have begun in the Middle Ages or even the biblical times, as I've mentioned. So some say that the superstition arose from Jesus' Last Supper, where it is thought that there were 13 people present before his crucifixion, which occurred on a Friday. Thanks to a string of events that have occurred on this day, many feel that is, how do you call it, jinx it, right? And pay particular care to avoid catastrophe during this day. So either don't go out or avoid to go or travel or to take big decisions, etc., etc. The fear is so widespread that scientists have even come up with a word for those who suffer from it. Yeah, that very, very, very Greek word that is the same word for number 13 in Greek, which is Pericles something. Go to St. Google and look for that word. So, however, it can be very interesting to know that the unlucky day can be great for bargaining about, for example. Okay. For an example, one in every 6 people believe that Friday the 13th poses the greatest risk of bad luck striking. But 22% of the world's population, at least in some study that was done in the UK, it said that people are worried that what fate may befall on them. So it's not about being afraid, but being kind of skeptical, or but what if it is true? What if there is really a bad luck behind it? And by thinking about it, they are allowing fear to come to them, and they actually resist, or they refrain from doing things for the just in case. So now, would you like to know, for an example, what are the spookiest things that have happened on Friday the 13th? I went and I did quite a little bit of research, and for an example, I don't know if you have, how many of you have read the Exorcist, the book that gave life to the movie. So his writer passed away on a Friday 13th. Then another curious fact was that the child actor that played Damien in The Omen, and I don't know, now it's failing me in English, but there were news that it wasn't like tragic enough that the person that wrote the book, The Exorcist, that passed away on a Friday 13, but also that the Catholic priest that inspired that book, the Exorcist, he also died on a Friday 13. And the child actor that played Damien in The Omen and punched 2 cyclists in a road rage attack arrived at court for sentencing also on a Friday 13. And also it is said that the old trail of destruction that occurred on filming the Exorcist movie also hit there was like huge catastrophe on the scenes where the Exorcist movie was filmed on the Friday 13th. So there is a whole lot of superstition around these days. For me, as I mentioned to you, is always a day that represents new beginnings. And I couldn't, then when I was poked by my friend also today, I had just to come here and to speak about the Friday 13. I mean, I just couldn't let go about this day to come and tell you there's so much been happening this month. So much been happening, and I am so excited to start pick up again and sharing with you guys and finding how you're doing and all of it. And also, I wanted to share with you something. Let me pick up here, coming to the comments again. And love blankets. Yeah. Isn't it nice? Yeah, it's super curious. So this morning I received also a memory and a thought in terms of divine feminine and about birth and how do we come to, how does our memory plays, what do we bring to with us to this existence, what is imprinted in us. And I would like to share with you now this thought. So I just want to go back. I'll change here something. And I've changed now a little bit of the topic about what we are going to talk, because we touched about the 13. So let's talk about this wonder of memory, divine, the deja vu of when you come to a place that you recognize, or when you see someone and you have a memory of this person or a memory of this place, or you come to perform a task that it's the first time that you do it and you find no resistance, you just do it, you just embrace it. Or when you come to a situation that you have never addressed before and you are put under the spotlight, or you just have to perform it, and all of a sudden you just know what to do and how to do it. And that comes to the fact and the value of our grandmothers. And I wanted to share a little bit of science behind this video. I'm just like keeping a little bit of time here. Okay. So I wanted to share with you something that in a passage of a book from Lane Redmond, and it's called "When the Drummers Were Women: A Spiritual History of Rhythm." Drumming and calling sound and chanting and singing icaros and messages and beats and codes of repetition are so important throughout, like, the drumming of the sound of cyclical waves and of breeze, or how the leaves beat. Everything in nature, it's a coding of pulses, and that is a memory. There is a plant memory, there is an animal memory, there is a cosmic memory, there's a planetary memory, there is an emotional memory, there's an intellectual memory. Memory. What is this, a memory? And I wanted to share with you. All the eggs a woman will ever carry in her ovaries are in her body while she is only 4 months old fetus. in the womb of her mother. All the eggs of the ovaries that any woman will ever carry, she has them all by the moment that she is 4 months in uterus, in her mother's womb. This means that our cellular life as an egg begins in the womb of our grandmother, right? If all our eggs exist in us when we are in our mother's womb, the same happened to her, her grandmother. The same happened to our father when he was in his mother's womb, because he's passed on his DNA. But of course, our father didn't have ovaries. He didn't have eggs. He had the memory. But the conscience was in us, women, from our mother, in our grandmothers, and back and back and back. Each one of us spent 5 months in our grandmother's womb, and she in turn formed within the womb of her grandmother. So we vibrate to the rhythms of mother's blood before she herself is born. And this pulse is a thread of blood that runs all the way back through the grandmothers to the first mother. And that is the message that I wanted to leave to you about the 11th hour, the 11th minute of the 11th day of the 11th month. It was the memory. It was the conscience. It was the divine feminine. And that is all. I will leave you with this sacred thought. I don't know if you have any questions or any comments for me right now, but I wish you all a very, very, very blessed evening. And remember, your life began in the womb of your grandmothers. 11:11, let the journey begin. Come and follow us on Instagram, on our YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel. Visit our website www.1111letthejourneybegin.com and stay blessed, and we will chat soon. Happy Friday 13. Boo!